We're fed up. We're fed up. I stand for everybody out here that's a minority in this community, in this world. Anybody that stands and says that they want change, we ain't got to loot and flip no damn vehicles for what? We peaceful, we right here.
Hello, my name is Professor Cornell William Brooks, and it is my honor to welcome you to the Harvard Kennedy School and to what I believe will be a morally engaging and intellectually exciting module that we call Justice, Advocacy, and You, Race and Crime as a Case Study. This module is embodied and exemplified in the words and the work, the life, the legacy of a social justice advocate history calls Pauli Murray. Pauli Murray, in but the span of literally one life, used poetry and public policy, law and litigation, legislation and civil disobedience, as well as civil rights, activism, and labor advocacy to advance the cause of social justice. Pauli Murray, whether as a law professor, as a scholar, as a poet, as a priest, as a women's rights pioneer, or a civil rights strategist, as a mere student, advanced the cause of social justice in generationally consequential ways. The breadth, the scope, the sweep of Pauli Murray's advocacy may be represented in a set of advocacy principles that literally anchor this class. We teach these advocacy principles over the course of 7 weeks in terms of particular, policy consequential, socially impactful advocacy campaigns. Advocacy campaigns in terms of the death penalty and solitary confinement, sentencing and policing, risk assessment and the use of algorithms, the juvenile justice system and the preschool to prison pipeline, and most certainly the criminalization of reproductive rights. These advocacy campaigns and advocacy principles are taught with the use of a particular pedagogy. This pedagogy is based upon or uses, if you will, engaging lectures in which students as well as professors are co-presenters, collaborators, if you will, in the learning exercise. We use guest lecturers as well as external classroom discussions. We use policy simulations and advocacy exercises, including mock legislative hearings, mock press conferences, mock interviews, mock direct actions, mock demonstrations, mock civil disobedience. The class is designed certainly for anyone who's interested in racial justice, criminal legal reform, transformation and abolition, but the course, the module is also designed for any and every student who's interested in advocacy more broadly, and certainly the use of individual or institutional persuasion or movement persuasion in terms of advancing social justice. So whether you work or intend to work in the for-profit sector, the nonprofit sector, for a nonprofit, for an NGO, a startup, whether you have worked or will work in business or in the academy, this module, this class, this course has a home and a space for you. Lastly, I want to note that this module may be represented, if you will, with a story. A story is told, history tells us, of a woman by the name of Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was called a Moses of her people. History tells us that she was enslaved on the eastern shore of Maryland, literally in the Egypt land of American bondage. History tells us that this brave woman engaged in self-emancipation. She delivered herself to freedom on the Underground Railroad. But not only that, Harriet Tubman returned again and again and again into the land of captivity to deliver 70 other people to freedom. But then, in addition to us, history tells us that she tried to free her own people, her own family, her own 2 brothers to freedom. But the story is told that en route to freedom, her brothers grew frightened. They grew afraid of what might happen to them if they were caught. And as a consequence, they turned back and literally returned to captivity. The central question that the story raises is, how do we engage today in emancipatory advocacy, liberatory advocacy, freedom creating advocacy, such that we leave no one behind? I look forward to seeing you in the class, look forward to seeing you as a student in this module, and certainly getting to know you and learning with you. With that said, look forward to an exciting year. Take care.